don't know which direction.
Just to get like,
Right.
surrounding from Aurora to Super. What? Just horrible, but empty woods, swale.
So which direction?
I should have like. I'm coming home, so it's. With that. Day long. So good when it happened. I love family, but sometimes it's just. Before everything's ready. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call, Nancy. Here.
Here.
Schmidt,
Here.
Peterson, here, Bishop, here.
Thank you. We are called to order at 7 p.m. The Open Meeting Act is on the south wall that governs how we run our meetings. It is also on the State of Nebraska website. If you would like to read the thing in entirety without squinting at little print. The city council packet in the binder, because of the Open Meeting Act, we do need it quickly reviewed and returned to the counter or reviewed at the counter, just because of the rules that we have to follow. But because of the Open Meeting Act. There's a copy of the city council, the city of Grant abides by the Open Meeting Act. We remember that. The mayor and the city council reserves the right to enter the closed session at any time during the meeting in accordance with the Nebraska Open Meeting Act, even though it may not be indicated on the agenda. It is the intention of the mayor and the city council to take up items and listed on the agenda in the order that presented. However, if we would like to, we may move them. Anyone wishing to speak during public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person, with the limit of 2 individuals speaking per topic position. Please come to the podium and clearly state your name and address for the record and the agenda topic you wish to speak upon. Everyone have a chance to review the agenda.
I would like to make a motion to move items from new business A and B before unfinished business. Due to the speakers in attendance and the need for information.
Kimberly moved to accept the agenda with the change of moving new items A and B to before unfinished business.
Correct.
Sorry, 22nd. Any discussion? Andrea, how do you?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Attorney?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Review and action of prior meeting minutes from March 12th.
I move to accept prior meeting minutes of March 12th, 2024 and 2030. Second.
Attorney moved, Kimberly second, that we accept the prior meeting minutes from March 12th, 2024 and waive the reading. Any discussion? Kimberly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Attorney? Yes. Sam?
Stay.
Andrea? Yes. Motion carried.
It's been on the agenda for you to not lose those things.
Even though I wasn't here?
Yep.
Okay.
It's already been on the agenda.
You want to vote now?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Motion carried.
Unless you have another reason, sorry.
No, it's because I wasn't here that day. That's why.
It's been on the agenda one time.
Okay.
Review and action of prior meeting minutes, March 26th, 2024.
Move to accept the March 26th meeting minutes and waive the reading.
Henry moved, Sam seconds, that we accept the March 26th, 2024 and waive the reading. Any discussion? Tierney, how do you vote?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Motion carried. Communications.
Jerry, you'll need to abstain from that prior.
Oh, the 26th, I was here.
Should we vote again? Kimberly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tierney? Sam?
Yes.
Andrew? Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us straight.
Oh, all good.
All right, now communication.
Yes, absolutely, and motion does carry, obviously. I don't- Okay, the library board will meet tomorrow at 5:15, at the 5:15 PM. I always forget to say that. Sometimes I wish it was 5:15 AM. I'm kind of an early riser, but, nope, not such my luck. 5:15 PM at the library. Tree board has moved their meeting to try out a new date and we'll see how it goes. They're gonna meet on Wednesday, February 17th, April 17th, I don't know why I'm on February. April 17th to 2 PM. So that's good for us because it's during working hours, you know, there's no, so. Well, they're gonna try it and see how it goes. Andrea, understand if you can't make it during that time, so. The annual Arbor Day event is scheduled for Wednesday, April 24th, from 11 till 2. Our UNL Forester Chrissy Land will be here for that event. We're excited to have her. We're very appreciative of the donations that we received for the t-shirts. Pinnacle Bank donated $300. Jesse, what was the other one? Quality Diesel
Midwest Electric.
and Midwest Ejector, both did 50, right?
One did 25 and one did 50.
We received an additional $75 in donations, so,
Awesome.
great work there by the tree board and Sherry Friday with securing some donations, so. Very appreciative of that, so we can get those t-shirts made for those kids. Those of you who are sort of unfamiliar with that, the kids actually get to do their own tree, design their own little drawing, and then that tree is actually put on their shirt. So it's like, hey, I'm famous, my tree's on my own t-shirt, so I think it's pretty cool anyways, I didn't get that when I was a kid. The Lions Club will donate a tree as they have done in the past. I believe this year the kids have picked a maple emerald blaze. Is the name of the tree, I believe. Mr. Forney informed me today of that selection, so he will be procuring those from a nursery in Mitchell this year. So we're excited about that. Pretty cool fall colors there with that. It's what I call a blaze. So neat colors there, and then we'll be going over site selection at the tree board meeting on the 17th for where it goes. So that Arbor Day, that I realize that's not actually Arbor Day. That's the Wednesday. But if we do it on Arbor Day, we would never get the kids over there because they're out early. It's just better to do it. We've done it historically in the middle of the week, last couple of years, and it's worked really well. The office will be closed in observance of Arbor Day on Friday, the 26th, April 26th. Next month is sort of different with Wednesday coming in hot there. The library board will meet before us next month. They'll meet May 8th at 5:15 PM. And then that will take us to the cemetery board meeting on the 14th of May at 5:15 PM and our next city council. So, as far as meeting goes, those are our meetings coming up. I'll have some comments on standing committee reports. Super excited about the projects we got going on. We've started the desilting and the digging out of the ditch along the railroad going to the dump. So those of you who are down there, be cautious. I know they're actively working on that. So that's exciting for us. That's a project I think everyone's wanted to be done for quite some time. So we'll get all the silt out of there, get it back up in shape and able to drain water efficiently. Working with Tom Werblow on some other drainage issues too that the Fair Board has asked us to research. So we're excited about that too. Guys are working on the ball field stuff to get ready for the season. and I'll have updates for, well, or Ken will have updates in standing committee for that, and I can obviously fill anyone in on additional details there, so, I did email you all about an open position we now have, so I'm actively searching for a public works assistant. Preferably someone who already has a CDL. So if you know someone, send them our way. We're gonna be going hot and heavy here pretty soon. We're gonna need that third guy.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
All right, Andrew?
The cemetery met tonight, they're gonna do their cemetery cleanup. Day is scheduled for May 18th from 9 to noon. Plan on.
9 to noon.
Yep, and then they pretty much tabled the baby land, again, they didn't really have any updates. And then I'm gonna go to the tree board, are they gonna change that meeting to the third Wednesday, is that what they're thinking, the third Wednesday at 2 o'clock every month from now on, is that kind of what
It's
they're
our
gonna try?
test. It's our
Yeah,
test. So
okay.
yes, that is
Okay.
their,
So I can
I
mark
think
it
their
that way.
intent. Yeah.
Okay. And the library meets tomorrow night.
All righty, thank you. Kimberly?
Park and Rec did meet, whatever date that was last week. And talked about several items that we're actually gonna see later in our packet with regard to contracts, reviewed the upcoming fall and pool seasons, talked about loads and loads and loads of things. We'll see most of those items later. I did have to leave the meeting a little bit early, so I don't know if anything critical came up after I left.
I have a couple notes I could go
Good
over quickly unless you have any more objections.
Nope, I don't think so.
So, as Kim stated, most of the agenda did concern upcoming license and management agreements, which are on your agenda for approval later on this evening. We did discuss the Park and Recreation Advisory Community Needs Survey. Robin came and talked about the survey that they completed, as well in conjunction with ours. We will be developing some action items out of that community needs survey. And then developing on how funding and timeline and all of that. So it's a process, but it's somewhere to start. We had 101 responses, so relatively good. I think compared to the other surveys we've done, it's the highest. I was actually pleased with the results, or with the number of responses. And as soon as we have our sort of three main goals out of that, I'll be forwarding that on to everyone so that they can review the action items that the Park and Rec Board would love to take to make advisement on. Brittany did give a report on the upcoming ball season. As of the date of the meeting, we had 114 kids, which gives us 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 teams this year. 2 T-ball girls, 2 pony girls, 2 T-ball boys, 2 pony boys, a junior girls team, and a Pee Wee boys team. The junior girls team is sort of up in limbo. We'll see if other communities have enough to form teams for them to play. I know North Platte has reached out, Ogallala is willing. Both of them are not in the Tri-County League, so that's why they're not part of our schedule, but at least we can maybe get them some exhibition games, and determine whether or not we'll have a tournament for them or not this year. Just a reminder, this was not our year for hosting a tournament. Next year, we will host girls, pony and girls T-ball. However, if one of the 3 host sites this year were to say, well, we can't really do it, we are next in the queue, in which case we would host. So that information's not been brought up. Brittany will turn in everything to Tri-County by the 20th of this month. And we sort of, Brittany and I, she had sent me her pre-draft for teams. I'd sent her back my questions and so she'll tell me whether I'm right or wrong. She does an amazing job of forming those teams and getting the appropriate kids to follow their siblings, and stay with their siblings and that type of stuff. It's not an easy job to put those teams together. So also we discussed the pool and the operating season for that this year. Brittany is working on a conscious effort on the check-in, check-in out system. I did do some research for those of you who recall about doing the card system. We're gonna have to come up with another avenue. I'm not sure how anybody affords that. For being open 85 days, and having to replace probably half those cards in the first year, we're talking in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $10,000. And that was the cheap end. What you're buying is the software, so everybody's selling the software for this information, so. Brittany's gonna come up with a better organization system for checking people in and checking out. For those of you who remember, the old pool had the handwritten name, check in, check out time. It's gonna be very similar to that, but there's also going to be a pass list that whoever's checking them in and out has to initial. So whatever lifeguard is up there has to initial that they have visually, yep, they have a pass and initial, so. We also talked about the hours of the operation this year. Nothing will really change. We did major will change. We did extend night swim to 8:30 this year. So we'll see.
It was last year that.
No, it was 8. It was 8. Brittany went over it in the meeting. We're gonna extend it to 8.
It used to be 8. I thought we changed it.
We're gonna extend it to 8:30 this year. Swim team will practice Monday through Thursday from 8 AM to 9 AM. That is the best time for them to practice. It worked very well last year. And they had no objections to continuing that. We are going to try and extend the season this year through August 31st. Weekends only. And this is all dependent upon whether or not we have enough lifeguards to actually operate or open for that day. Brittany will be meeting with all of the lifeguards soon to start the training and do all of that, so she'll be going over the schedule with them and engaging whether or not any of them can make it. Most of our lifeguards are involved in sports, and that's really what hinders us. So we're looking at the last official normal day open will be August 11th. And then that week leading up to the first day of school, tentatively, dependent upon guards, we'd like to open in the evenings from 1 to 6, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, August 12th, 13th, and 14th. August 15th, 16th, and 17th will be closed, Chase County Fair. I can just tell you that we won't be able to staff the pool then. Then we'll be open August 18th, 24th, 25th, and 31st from 1 to 6 PM on the weekends. Staff dependent upon staff availability. So we're gonna give it a go, and the board was very excited to hear that, as that was one of the community survey inputs, is extended hours for the pools. Okay, that's what you missed, Kim.
Alright. Tierney
I don't have anything.
and Sam.
No.
Alright. Moving on to enforcement, sheriff, and water reports.
Oh, sorry, we've got 18 lifeguards this year. So we've got a few extra in there that hopefully we can rely on. Three of those will be working at the concession stand to start the month of June. And then working when they can at the pool, but the younger, the 15-year-olds, so. Sorry, popped in my brain.
You wanna, please note that we reviewed the enforcement, sheriff, and water reports. Financials,
They are in process and we'll have it the next meeting.
perfect, thank you. Public comment? All right. It looks like you're up, Jeff. Action and discussion on a request by property owner and to construct a high heat pump. And for the record, please state your name and address.
Jeff Wallen, 865 Hill Avenue, Greenwich. So urban farming is kind of becoming more of an item, and there's some government funding for cost share. I would tell us basically is a structure covered in plastic that goes over barren ground. You can raise crops underneath that. With that, it extend your season. You can start earlier, finish later in the season. So we've got our application in with USDA. Originally, it was approved. pending city approval. So then that got sidelined, so then went back into ranking status. We went through the planning commission. They approved our application and request. Now we're here to finish it up, I guess, but our application still in ranking status. Probably gonna happen one way or another if we get approved here. If we don't get cost share funding on that, we might just do it ourselves and do a smaller scale. Yeah, I talked to the neighbors around their schools across the street, but the neighbor to the north was kind of concerned about it. Thought it was more of a commercial greenhouse, and it's not. He's okay with it. We just need to, once we get everything done and approved, we're gonna let you know where the location is at and make sure it's okay with all parties before we proceed. Just,
Nice.
I don't know what else to say. The application, everything.
Public hearing was held in accordance with our guidelines on March 18th with the planning commission. Planning commission did verify that the 5 needs are met. And as you can see, Jeff spoke briefly about the neighbors. We're required by law to notify the neighbors within 150 feet in every direction. We did that. And Jeff had a very good conversation, was able to explain better in detail to one neighbor who had some concerns, who no longer carries those concerns. I think this is a great project, and like I said, it does meet all 5 requirements for a conditional use permit. And as of right now, it's temporary, but if it's going well, in 5 years, they could reapply and make it another.
The 5-year time frame kind of goes with the useful life of that material on the frame, so they said 5 years plus or minus on that. So
Well, it depends on if you get 70-mile-an-hour wind or
I think I think it should stand. But it could offer some education opportunities to being across from the grade school.
Yeah. Any questions from the council? Good idea.
Honestly, I don't know the way things are going, it's late summer. You know, because we also, depending on the funding status, we gotta work, who knows how soon the item would show up in the construction and stuff.
We meet all the criteria, neighbors are okay with it.
The one neighbor had a concern, but we talked about it.
Well, they don't, yeah, the concern is no longer there, is what my understanding.
Originally, it was thought to be a commercial greenhouse, so there's gonna be a lot of traffic and people. And
Right.
that's not the case.
All right, move to accept action on, property owner parcel ID 68000258 for a temporary conditional use permit to construct a high loop tunnel for 4-H projects and community betterment.
Second. Sam moved, Tierney second, that we accept or move forward with the temporary conditional use permit to construct a high hoop tunnel for 4-H projects and community betterment. Any more discussion?
Sam, point of clarification, you said 68000258. It's 68002545.
I accept that, correction.
Okay, any other discussion? Andrea?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Tierney?
Yes.
Shirley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much for coming in and presenting.
I get a clarification on the 5-year time frame. Would that be from now, or would that be from first?
5 years is from the point of approval.
So if it doesn't get constructed until next year, we lost it.
Lost it here. Sorry. So get it constructed this week.
Got you know.
Got gloves, let's go.
Yeah, just get an extension. All right.
Okay, we'll get it.
I believe we also moved action item, new business B to the next item, action and discussion on wholesale energy costs.
All right, so I was able to gather some information from NPPD, as well as Tri-State. Jason was very helpful in getting that information from Tri-State from me. I don't think I could have got it done. I will caveat that this is like the roughest of rough. This isn't apples to apples. Without actually going out, this is wholesale energy without any of the other caveats. You know, we have green energy, we have a WAP allocation, we have wheeling charge, all of that other
Right.
stuff. This is just what the wholesale energy
Like a
costs.
rough,
Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to get it, I gotta get through all these license and management agreements before I can get to it here.
For Jeff's.
Should have reorganized them
Last page.
There we go. Okay, so as you can see, if we're just looking at just the energy charge itself, just electric without any of the other caveats. Means at 0.06833 per kilowatt hour, NPPD is 0.07542 per kilowatt hour. And Tri-State is 0.09265 per kilowatt hour. NPPD, Brad Hands from NMPP was able to assist me with getting that information, as again, I don't think I could have done that. In fact, most of them sent the caveat that if you're going to do this, you need to hire a separate electrical engineer consultant in order to formulate the RFP before you do it, so. Any
Thank you, Ed.
questions?
No, that's perfect. I mean, we just needed some data points to make sure that like we were concerned with the contracts and we're getting the best deal and the numbers actually show that. So thank you for doing that.
It wasn't just, like I said, I couldn't.
I know it wasn't just you, but
I couldn't have got it done without the assistance of Midwest and.
we didn't make any phone calls and you made it happen. So thanks.
yes,
Yeah. So thank you.
and also this shows, due diligence, what we're doing is what's best for the city, not necessarily just blindly moving forward.
Great.
Any questions, concerning these numbers or concerns? These funds.
Yeah. I put action in discussion, obviously, we don't need action on this, it's actually in a previous agenda, an unfinished agenda item, so.
Right.
Or it pertains to an unfinished agenda item, sorry. Full
Right.
it's unfinished, something.
And we will just move on to unfinished business, I believe is where we're at. Action and discussion on ordinance 240201. We've already done the 3 readings, but Jesse, would you read it again?
This will be the 5th reading. So ordinance number 24-02-01, an ordinance authorizing and directing execution of the amended and restated total power requirements power purchase agreement by the city of Grant, Perkins County, Nebraska, with Municipal Energy Agency of Nebraska to acknowledge and provide for limitations on use of electricity to prescribe the time when this ordinance shall be in full force and.
And Don, I had noticed I didn't change the date, the effective date on the last one, so I did make sure that that date was corrected on the ordinances.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank God.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 240201, for total power requirements. I'm not reading that whole thing.
No, that's
For me.
Second. Kimberly move. Andrea second that we accept ordinance number 240201. Purchase power from Maine. Any other discussion or questions?
I know we had to wait to make sure we did the right thing, but I appreciate that. I thought it was worth the wait. So thank you.
No, I agree. It's good to see the straight numbers showing a winning situation without the cost of change even being factored in. So we know we're in a good spot.
And then actually, just a discussion point here also, Jason was very appreciative. He said they don't normally get these type of numbers. He can't just call up to NPPD and say, hey, what are you guys charging for energy? So it actually gave them sort of some talking points as they move forward with their budget discussions and where their rates need to be and that type of stuff, so.
Okay.
And just one other caveat, he would also like to mention that number would be for in-town purchase, that per kilowatt hour is not what they're charging in the county.
Right.
Just so everyone is
Right.
aware of that,
Yeah.
that would be our charge, for in-city.
Right.
Sorry.
Yep, no, that's right. That's good to clarify that. All right, Tierney, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Andrea? Yes. Motion carried. All right. Was there any other items? Okay, we are back to unfinished business, action and discussion of adoption of the city grant, banner policy and banner application.
Hope I was able to incorporate everything that was stated in the meeting. I did send this to Tana. I know she was busy with trials and everything, so I don't know if she had any other caveats to the changes made. Removing, but no longer doing a resolution for fees. And then obviously addressing, I think there was 3 things in there that we needed to address. Basically changing it to city's discretion for timelines, allowing people to put it on the poles on the side streets. Yeah, was there anything I missed in there? I think. Donna or Sam?
I have some concerns after reading it,
Okay.
some legal concerns, and so, for potential litigation concerns. So, I'm actually gonna make a motion to go to executive session because of potential litigation concerns I have. To include, city attorney, the council, and mayor.
All right. Sam has moved to go into executive session at
Move for
7:30.
7:30.
Second.
Kimberly second, to include the council, the mayor, and the city attorney. Any discussion? Kimberly, how do you go? Yeah, Sam,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
Judy?
Yep.
Motion carried. We will go into executive session. Thank you, Jeff, for attending.
Will you verify that then? Following the recording?
I will make a motion to come out of executive session at 8:25.
Second. Kimberly moved, Andrea seconded that we come out of the session at 8:25. Any discussion? Andrea, how to go? Yes, Sam?
Yes.
Tierney?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Motion carried. We are out of executive session at 8:25. We are on action and discussion on adoption of City of Grant banner policy and grant application.
I make a motion to table the, current banner policy and banner application.
Second. Sam moved, it was
Table to the next one. City
next.
council meeting.
And Tierney second, that we table it to the next meeting, which is
April 23rd.
April 23rd. All right, thank you very much. Review and discussion on this. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Tell me them here. Kimberly, how do you?
I vote yes.
Tierney?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you guys for keeping me on the straight and narrow. All right, now we are on review and discussion of the City of Grant investment into the ball field. Find that information. Thanks for compiling that for us, Edwin.
It is not an exhaustive list since I've been here. So yeah, per your request, I tried to put together I started at anything over 1,000 and I was like, well, there's only a few items that were below that number. So anyways, so you can kind of see where we're at as far as investment goes and donations. Donations don't count. Yeah, any questions or comments or?
Okay, so my concern is, and I asked Ed to put this on the agenda, is because this area is not the City of Grants. And we do have an agreement But any contract can be broken, interlocal agreement. And so I just want to make sure that, this is, we all know what's going on here, and if we continue making investment to the ball field, is this the best thing for the people of the city of Grant?
I did have a couple of updates on this, actually, I did receive did some research into the restrooms, I found a comparable restroom with what the park is for $137,000, so a little bit less. Our other option, I guess, there, and I know that's sort of the next big ticket item that we need to do is, they do make very nice porta potties, that run about $1,500 to $1,700 a piece. We would probably need 4 to be accommodative of our current
So the
situation.
cost, we would own them?
We would own them, and then we would contract with Superior Sanitation, to maintain and clean them, similar to what we do with the cemetery. We own it, Scotty's cleans it and maintains it. Or is it Scotty's again? Sorry, Scotty's for decades. It's Superior Sanitation now.
And that, you said was like 1,700?
The higher end was 1,700, and those are flexible models with a hand washing sink in them, the refillable clean water reservoir. No, the cemetery one is not that model.
Not the flexible, not as much, so I feel,
Cemetery is very much so.
so I feel do not need to use the restroom. They work in a. You're not really
And those ones run about 1,100, so additional 600, you get the sink, you get paper towels, you get flexible, and by flexible, I mean, it's just a flat. It's not-
Where would we store those in the off season, or are they?
Wouldn't store them where they stood,
They stay
in winterize, or wherever they were placed in winterize. Just to throw out some options there.
Well, the list is helpful, I think.
Mhm.
Obviously, you've done a really good job of making some good improvements, and they've been noticed. I think that's
Yep.
good, but I think it also makes sense to keep track of where are we at, and do we need to move on to the next action item, maybe? So. Helpful.
And I guess it ties in if we wanna,
Yeah.
Madam
Great.
Mayor, if we wanna
Great.
move on there. I
Yep.
guess it ties into the next agenda item, which is the map.
Yep.
It's on the next page there. That would be the logical area for, to begin talks with the county on purchase agreement, or if they'd like to gift or donate it to us. Went a little bit outside the ball field, outfield fence, because we are planning on planting some trees, on the exterior of the ball field, so. Yeah, just a starting point.
We start bigger, just to see what they say, so that if we would like to actually make investment, build something new out there, we have space to do it.
Absolutely can. I mean, I think the only area right now that probably would, because of the plan for drainage, would be the area west of the south ball field, so the big ball field. Would sort of we just probably leave that off for now.
So what is our current agreement? It's an interlocal agreement, but for how long?
It's a lease
just
agreement.
Lease agreement?
Yep, for 50 years, beginning in, let's see, the 90s, I think is what we determined.
We've
Yeah.
pulled it before, but I
Multiple
haven't
times.
looked at it and refreshed my memory on it.
And it's only, the only thing is that they require us to provide recreational activities. There's no other stipulations on there.
Let's say 1990s.
Yeah, I mean, 50s is approaching rather quickly.
I think we got about 25 years left,
Okay.
20 years. I have to get the exact date on it.
2040,
It was 1990, yeah.
if it was 1990, yeah. I mean, that's really close.
Sadly, it's not that long. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not that long out if you're looking at like the equipment or infrastructure that's obviously gonna last well beyond that, so.
Especially like a bathroom that, even at $137,000.
Well, I like the idea of maybe looking a little bigger too, because I know a lot of people have asked for for a walking path, and obviously that'd be really nice to be able to have that out there, and I've heard there's maybe some grants for those kind of things.
Mhm.
So,
There are.
so that would be really, something that I think would get add recreation to the area and also that's. Gosh, it's a lot easier to invest in something you actually own, you know, and I know it's a lease and I appreciate that they've worked with us.
And with the additional area, the additional 40 foot outside of the ball field where we're planting trees, I think the intention there is to leave space for a sidewalk along the fence.
Okay.
For walking around them, you know, like a track
Mhm.
type of deal. So that's the intention. Obviously, the trees would grow up in and they would provide shade. It would be beautiful. Fall foliage. They're gonna be a row of broadleaf and then a row of conifers behind it. So evergreens, so.
So they should be big and shady in about 20 years.
20 years.
Right, whenever they wanna, yeah, everyone's heard a lot.
I guess I would say, like, if we are gonna move forward with having these discussions, like, I wouldn't even approach with a map. I would just say, what are our options, because who knows what we're gonna want to do out there in 20 years, right? I mean,
Maybe they're willing to sell more of it.
So I can't speak because we haven't asked them yet, but I would assume that they're gonna say, come back with that. Come back with an area you'd like to purchase.
I wonder though, and this is just, with the whole bathroom thing, like if the city approaches the fair board, if after like the county says one way or the other, if you put bathrooms more over here in this area, closer, like they would probably be more apt, or like here over by the arena somewhere. I mean, they're a lot closer there to the water source anyway, where they would have to pipe that in.
Porta potties of what.
Maybe share the cost.
Right,
Yeah.
and
It's a good idea.
even like during the fair, like when you go camping, like the showers, like. If that's something that maybe they're looking at in the future, yeah, but. I don't know, just something to maybe mull around to with them to see if that's something that they want to caution around.
Definitely worth asking them.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if we're putting in.
If we moved them, that would be, we'd pretty much be deadlocked on porta potties thing, on the structure over there. Without doing some major sewer renovations. Cause currently it's a leach field.
Over here,
Oh, so
Yeah,
right
they
now
leach.
they just have a leach field?
Leach this way. So there's no,
but where do these bathrooms go? That's
they're
my-
connected into the sewer, so we would either have to pipe from here to attach into where the sewer is here. I know they're not gonna want it to leach out here,
No,
or we do porta potties.
so we'd be talking about sewer connection. But if you're talking about a permanent structure.
We'd be talking
maybe
about,
anyway.
yeah, piping and additional.
Yeah.
Additional cost for that.
Well, if we're sharing the cost, and then the bathrooms are being used more than a month. Instead, they're being used 2 months, that would be
well, yeah. and-
more beneficial for the community as a whole.
And now that, you know, with the movies and all that stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's already
exactly.
centrally located.
Or even the receptions or different things out there people do outside.
And rodeos and, yeah, or shows.
Probably makes sense just they've got plans that we don't know about either, I'm sure, like, I know
Right.
the fair board is
I mean, they might already have
thinking.
plans.
Yeah.
That is the majority of our parking as well there. We just have to be strategic on where we place them, so they weren't right next to the stands.
Right,
And
So-
not interfering with any current parking.
so what,
Yeah, I think along that,
so
along.
action and
this-
discussion for the city superintendent to be in talks with Perkin County Commission, the potential purchase. And, or,
So this is probably the, I want to get my P's and Q's straight, but this is probably the ideal location. Right there, and that way you're not, you have to stop parking. Right there, but.
I mean, I think we just talk about the purchase of land first and
Yeah.
then figure out what we're building where if we're already.
Closest this way.
Yeah.
What, I mean, as far as bigger goes, what are you thinking, more of the? Sorry, more of this area going over to the cell tower?
I mean, so there were discussions, I think even back when we were talking about the pool or even your park and rec board was talking about indoor structures, indoor walking paths. So like if we're potentially considering a Holyoke type or Bridgeport type structure, you're gonna need more space than 5 feet outside of the ball field.
So
So
we're-
I guess that's what I'm saying, is
Yeah.
if we don't wanna deadlock ourselves out of potentially a large investment out there for some sort of structure, we should be thinking about that,
So what's the boundary line? What does the fair board own and where,
Everything.
everything.
well, they own everything?
They
Yeah.
don't,
So, okay, so,
So I know when I did have a conversation with them when we were talking about the location of the pool.
Mhm.
And they had some concerns about, I think we were talking about over here, like, where's the arena? We were talking about over here.
by the courthouse itself and then.
Yeah, and they had actually said, well, we may have some plans for things going into that area as well, and there's drainage, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so from that discussion, I know they've got long-term plans. I think we should coordinate on what are their plans?
Mhm.
What is the possibility of our plans? Because if we're talking about a purchase, that's it. We either have to go back to the drawing board if we didn't purchase enough, or we're out.
So they
Just
do
don't
have
wanna-
the,
I don't wanna limit ourselves.
they do have the camping hookups over here, so we
Yeah.
wanna steer clear of that line, so just, we don't wanna own that.
How far over here could we go?
To the red line currently, this area is now being planned for drainage. For their expansions on the building.
so,
So there really isn't anywhere for us to go.
Yeah, this area is now. Well, yeah,
Where's the drainage?
to the west, going towards the grass.
Whole thing.
Yep,
Not where the discussion about was soccer field.
yep,
Well, what are the firemen gonna do? That's where they line up all their
they're
fireworks.
leaving this corner,
They are gonna leave it for them that way.
they're leaving this corner right here.
I just know that that's where they always line
so
up.
can we do this right here, this section up here?
We do not. Well, yeah, if we could cut out the cell tower, yep.
Is that gonna cause a mosquito problem
Uh,
during fall season?
And we
more than
need,
likely will, I mean, we'll have to figure out,
just make a circle around the cell tower? You mean just do an easement, or do you mean
no,
like,
we can't donut hole it, just to come up and then.
So yeah, draw it out that way.
Yeah, we would just draw it out. Yes, Andrea, we potentially will. The plan right now, Tom is working on with SETI, their engineers, it's SETI Engineering. It'll be just like the ditches, a self-draining leach system that drains on its own because we can't pump it anywhere, right? Unless we want to invest in our pit to the south of town that we've had on the 1 and 6 for quite some time, which we'll have to address at some point, but we don't need to address that at this point. I mean, county needs to address it, that's their land, if that's what they choose to do, then it's gonna be their responsibility to control the mosquitoes.
so if we have it on the.
Well, but if they don't control them, it's our
This
children.
is exactly why we have to have this
Yes,
conversation.
I mean,
Because we don't own property, they make decisions that impact.
So if we update the pit, would they not need this
Right.
drainage spot anymore?
What's that?
If we update our pit, would they not need this drainage spot anymore?
If we added a pit, no, we just,
No, if we
Updated our pit.
updated our.
What's in our 1 and 6? If we updated our pit,
we're not updating that pit is an
No, no.
additional pit.
No, but if we did, if our pit was like the best pit ever, would they need it?
We can't update our current pit, we have to build a new one.
Okay, so if we built a new pit, would they have to have a?
Nope,
or would we have to build our new pit?
They have one kind of drawn on the 1 and 6, but that would
That's
be,
what I thought.
we'd still have to go through land purchase and all of that and figure out.
and I think Tom had estimated roughly about $500,000 for that.
Jiminy.
Because of land purchase and
Gotcha.
it's not just a normal piping that goes, it's not just, it's a 24-inch pipe.
And I think we should look, there may be some, I think, financing for storm water, but I don't know how much we would, if it's a 50-50 or how that all works too, but.
So it's possible if we got our pit on our 1 and 6, they wouldn't need this drainage field anymore. And then potentially we could say, can we just purchase the whole thing?
We could, I spoke with Casey, Fair Board member today.
Yeah.
Their goal is to have this completed before Fair of next year.
Okay.
Fair 25.
Fair of 25, actually, they'd like to be able to release the plans to the public at Fair.
So we
This
would-
year's Fair.
So that's when we'll know what they're doing with their overall.
As long as our engineer and their engineer can come to whatever agreement as far as the pit goes, yes, but they would like to release their plans for the pit, not for anything else, just for the pit, to the public at this year's fair.
So if they sold this to us, could we have our pit done during fair next year? 2025.
As long as you budget for it.
Well, okay, so I mean, maybe that's where we move on that. You say, okay, well, I want to sell this, you won't need that, and then we'll move on, you know, thing that's already on our 1-6. At least look at the opportunity.
And provided we have enough, we'll not have enough money for that.
I don't know if we're gonna.
That and a house.
Well, I mean, maybe they're willing to wait 2 years, I don't know, we don't know.
How much water is gonna be sitting in this?
Hopefully not much. They're talking, so that the whole site, Tom Warbelow came out and did an elevation study. The whole site, the ball fields, the fairgrounds, west of the fairgrounds, south of the highway, it's all relatively the same elevation. So there's not any real like runoff or good flow. So they're hoping by decreasing the elevation of that site, just a matter of inches, that it will hold enough water and drain quickly enough that it won't flood that whole area. And that's part of the work we're already doing on the right of way along the road to the dump to help alleviate some of that as well. That will improve drainage, how quickly it drains, capacity of it, all of that stuff.
Okay, so for now, let's ask for what Sam drew here. Or do we want to do the bigger picture?
It sounds to me like we need to have a general discussion about their plans and potential partnership and what's best for the community between county and city.
So do we,
And that's
yeah, do we need to get on?
I
their
think
agenda?
assuming that something is off the table or on the table is not probably the best approach. I think if we could get on their agenda and talk through, hey, we would like the option to maybe add some community
Behind us all
things.
this.
And I do worry about that. I mean,
I do worry
since
about-
they announced it, I've been worried about having anywhere you've got standing water, you have mosquitoes, and then we're just gonna have people out there in the height of mosquito season sitting next to mosquito breeding ground. Doesn't seem ideal.
What do you think? You look like you're thinking something.
I just know that their meeting is the same night as ours, it's the first or the second Tuesday of every month, so like maybe it'd be better to have like them come to have a joint meeting at our second meeting of the month, so that then, you know, they've had their discussion of the fair board meeting, and then they can kind of tell us what their plans are,
Okay.
or a special meeting after whatever.
Oh, yeah, or a special meeting, and we can like.
I just know, we probably can help theirs because it's the same.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to just
So it's sort of D, but it's modified?
So 23rd or May?
I mean, it's whatever they choose, but it just can't be the first meeting of the month, because that's the same as theirs.
So 28th of May.
Well, and then that way we could kind of maybe somebody talk to them, so they could talk about it at their May meeting, because if they're having theirs tonight, then I don't.
Yeah, well,
Then at least they would have, maybe it would put it on their agenda and it was visit about it.
Yeah, and I maybe off, just from what I know from what they're planning, I would say off limits, I'm just saying they have a plan for a specific area right now that would take sort of that. This moment in time, that would take that portion of it off the table, it's.
Right, but I think if we share some of our
Yeah,
concerns about it and how it impacts our least land, then maybe
Possible solution.
And solution,
maybe
solution,
we can
you are,
offer a solution.
ours, yeah, but that might, you know.
Obviously, they're planning on spending some money to develop that leach field, so what is that money? Is there any share cost to this?
They're gonna ask for cost share.
Right, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm saying then we can ask for cost share as well, like,
Yeah, no, that's what I
Ask
mean,
for
it
cost share.
can go both ways.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, like, makes sense, okay.
So we need to,
So just table it until we meet with them.
although we might, reach out to them.
Yeah, we do.
And then,
I think we wanna reach out to them and have you invite them to the May 28th meeting and explain why. So that they can have that discussion, hopefully at their new meeting, first meeting. Does that need to be a motion?
Doesn't need to be a motion, it's not.
Just not.
So just to clarify, I invite any fair board member that can come to the May 28th city council.
Any,
And then coffee and water.
yeah.
So. You're not-
All right, thank you for doing that. Good discussion.
That needs to be later and we can have a conversation.
Do we need to have a conversation with county commissioners or?
Because they own the property. I mean, we can talk to the fair board about their plans, but we need to talk to the county about purchase and lease. Right?
Maybe invite them too?
they, should we talk to them before then?
First or third, from like 8 AM till noon-ish.
It's a county.
So we need to be put on their agenda to tell them the thoughts and then go from there. Probably.
I would think we would meet with the fair board and then the county commissioners will meet June 3rd and June 17th. So their next meeting be with them, right? Is that what
Or
you're?
do we wanna just do them all at once?
Well, I would say go talk to the commissioners first and see if they can vote instead of
Yeah.
any sort of purchase first.
Yeah.
That's even on the table for them to do that, and then, I mean,
A
that's.
starting point, because if they say no, it's
Right,
interested in selling, then we know where we're at.
okay,
Started to talk to him at that time when that had all been brought up, and even when Matt was on some of it, wasn't it?
Not a purchase. No, we stopped short of that.
so do we
Because
authorize
it's a
them to do that?
project.
Okay, so,
We don't, great, sexual, because the seat of.
right, because if it's not an option at all, then we're back to what do we wanna do? Yeah.
So their next meeting will be the 15th. I will message, read along tomorrow morning to see if I can place on the agenda. The 15th.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
All right, action and discussion.
I'm not gonna do any definitive lines right now.
Right, yeah,
I'm just gonna
no.
say, would you be open to the idea of us presenting a plan to purchase some area?
Yes,
At least the lease area at a minimum, with the option for maybe bigger once we have an idea of what the fair looks like.
right. That sounds good.
Yes,
Yes.
Does that sound good, Kimberly?
I think it does, I am gonna be out of town next week, but is anybody else able to attend, I guess, I think it. What time is it, they're meeting noon?
no, they start at 8 and they go to noon. So
Yeah.
It just depends on whenever they get done. There's.
I'm gonna be-
County doesn't leave.
I'm gonna be-
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Why do you need a mayor that doesn't have a job?
I know.
Or pay the mayor a full-time wage so they can do the mayoring full-time. Just a
Right. How about? New business.
All right, action item E, discussion on license and trade agreement between the city of Grant and the Traveling Oakley baseball team. Is this similar to last year's then?
Only thing they changed in all of these agreements is went from a 1-year to a 3-year agreement. And I believe all of these will be long-term agreements. Actually, Chris Bryzik has already returned. It's already signed and returned from the traveling baseball team one, so we're ready to execute that after tonight's meeting.
So do you see any problems with the one, a 3-year? I mean, it's nice for us because we can revisit every year, but
And in the event of a head coaching change or who we need to send it to for notice or whatever. This is, we don't have to actually change the agreement.
That way, you go agreement wise? Yeah, I mean, it's the team, you're not saying. And if they change the team name, for example, then we just change the team name, so that. Make a motion to approve the license management agreement between the city of Grant and the traveling open baseball team.
Kimberly moved, Andrea seconds that we accept the agreement between the city of Grant and the Oakland traveling team. Any discussion?
Chris also informed us that they're planning on having some games here for that team on May 12th, so. If you can attend, please do. We won't have any sessions ready by then, but he's aware.
May 12th?
Yeah, that's
That's Thursday.
So I
Sorry, right out loud.
I'm just telling you what Brittany informed me that Chris informed me. Just wanted to put that up. I said I would share it. Sure.
Well, thank you for sharing that. All right, we have a motion on the table. Sam, how do you vote?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Kimberly? Yes. Tierney? Yes. Motion carried.
Maybe it'll be a Mother's Day turn. Moms are usually the ones transporting kids to and from baseball anyways, aren't they?
They love that for their day, question mark.
Right. No one.
Who loves that slow? Mom loves you, Dave.
All right. License and management agreement between the city of Grant and the Perkins County Flag Football Association. Another fun one.
This would be one that's a perfect example. The Allens, unfortunately, is not our community anymore. We're sad to hear that. And so Chase Sauer will be receiving it as a representative for that change of sales.
I'm going to accept the license management agreement between the city of Grant and the Perkins County Flag Football Association.
Andrea moved, Tierney second, that we accept the agreement between the city of Grant and the Perkins County Flag Football Association. Any discussion? Tierney, how do you vote? Yes. Yes. Andrea?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Motion carried. Action and discussion on the license management agreement between the city of Grant and the Perkins County Soccer Club.
Make a motion to accept the license and management agreement between the city of Grant and Perkins County Soccer Club.
Okay. Kimberly moved, Tierney second, that we accept, yeah.
You're good.
Okay, the license management agreement between the city of Grant and Perkins County Soccer Club. Any discussion? Kimberly, how do you vote? Yes. Tierney? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
Andrew?
Abstain.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Action and discussion on license management agreement between the city of Grant and the swim team. Another fun entity.
I move to second action on the license management agreement between the city of Grant and the Perkins County Swim Team.
Second.
Terry moved, Sam second to accept the license and management agreement between the city of Grant and the Perkins County Swim Team. Any discussion? Sam, how do you vote?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Motion carried. Action and discussion on mayor proclamation of Arbor Day and authorized me to sign, correct?
I know we're waiting to this, Lisa, but if you please read the proclamation for us. A lot of P's in that sentence.
Me?
Yes, you are. You are proclaiming it, so.
Oh, I get to come proclaim it.
Yes.
Oh, fine. Okay. Official proclamation. In 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to set aside for the planting of trees, and this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed in the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and trees can be a solution of combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and giving habitat for wildlife. And trees are a renewable source, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products.
And trees in our city increase property value, enhance the economic vitality of the business area, and beautify our community. And trees, wherever they are planted, are the source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Lisa Schmidt, Mayor of the City of Grant, Nebraska, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 26, 2024, as Arbor Day in the City of Grant, Nebraska. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And I further urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated April 9th, 2024.
Thank you.
I move to accept the official proclamation that the mayor read for Arbor Day.
Okay. Andrea moved, Tierney second. Oh, and.
Oh, and authorize the mayor to sign.
It's like she has to do more than proclaim.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Proclaim and sign.
Well, I didn't do very efficient work. I needed my tiara. So Andrea
And I second.
Tierney second to authorize the proclamation of Arbor Day, authorizing me to sign. Any more discussion?
I was gonna table it, so you have to read it again next week.
Not-
Wow. Thank goodness, Andrea beat you.
This is what happened to 8:59.
Get post time.
Richie. Kimberly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Judy?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Andrea, for stating me.
There was technically another meeting. We-
I know.
We had one more meeting to do this, so.
Awkward at that event.
That would have been hilarious.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. This proclamation helps aid us in continuing our
That's a good idea.
USA status as well as our growth of word for tree standards.
Good
Appreciate that.
stuff.
And we publish it.
Yep.
All right, bills and claims. Action and discussion on bills and claims. Did everyone review them?
Yes.
I witnessed it, except for Sam's.
No, I can't help with this.
I didn't say I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. I was double
Oh, man, we're just getting giddy.
I make a motion to pay the bills and claims in the amount of $121,220.96.
Second.
Kimberly moved. Sam seconds that we pay the bills and claims for $121,220.96. 96 cents, sorry. My handwriting's awful. Any discussion? Sam, how to go?
Yes.
Andrea? Yes. Kimberly?
Yes.
Tierney? Yep. Motion carried. We are adjourned at 9:01. We are, good. I told my husband, I was gonna come till 9:30. No.
Oh, Lisa.